Welcome back, it's me, Lou. I'm here for another action figure unboxing and review, and today we are looking at this. It is the Jack Sparrow action figure from the new Disney Mirrorverse line from McFarlane Toys. Okay, so to begin the video, first off, I've done a pretty multi-part series reviewing different action figures from this line. So previously I reviewed Belle, Mickey, Goofy, and Sully. So those also belong to the Disney Mirrorverse line, but the difference between this figure and those is that this is a slightly larger scale. Like, I believe this is maybe a 7-inch scale action figure, whereas the other action figures fall to a much smaller line. I think those are about anywhere between 5 to 5.5 inches. So there's two different price points. Those smaller scaled figures are about $12, whereas this larger one is about $19. And this kind of falls more in line with the McFarlane toys that you're used to, like Mortal Kombat, DC Multiverse, Warhammer. So if you're a collector of those lines, this is right up your alley. It's roughly around the same scale. The package design is very similar, but this is just, for Disney Mirrorverse. And if you don't know what Disney Mirrorverse is, go back and watch some of my earlier videos where I talk about that. But a brief summation, Disney Mirrorverse is actually a new mobile role-playing game that's available on iOS and also Android. So check those out. I believe the game's out either now or it's coming out soon. So something to look forward to. Okay, so this is the iteration of Jack Sparrow as he appears in the new video game. Let's take a look at the package. So first off, the package is your standard McFarlane fare. It's a very rectangular box. Nice big window. It frames the figure perfectly. In terms of accessories, we can kind of see he has some sort of like effect here. I'm not really sure what that is. Here's the logo. So he has 22 moving parts. I don't know if that necessarily means it's articulation. Most likely. It's recommended for ages 12 and up. Nice, beautiful CG portrait of the character as Jack Sparrow appears in the video game. You get that. And then here's another portrait of him. So over here he's looking a little startled, a little bit goofy. And here he's looking much serious. And on the back, we have the same graphic that we get on the smaller scaled figures. It's kind of like a mysterious, image where all we see is the character silhouettes. And there's kind of this portal in the background. Maybe that's the actual mirror that they cross through to get into the Mirrorverse. We have silhouettes of Belle, Buzz Lightyear, Jack Sparrow, Sully, Mickey, and there's some other characters who have yet to be revealed. So in the larger scale line, there's only 3 figures, I believe. There's a Buzz Lightyear, there's this Jack Sparrow, and then there's a different Jack Sparrow. This one's the fractured version, and maybe this one's a little bit more ominous. Maybe he's possessed. One thing that I do appreciate about this package as opposed to the smaller scaled one is that they actually list the information here for what this is. So this is the Battle to Defend the Mirrorverse, and you can download the game at the App Store or Google Play. And there's even a Disney Mirrorverse website. And when I visited the other day, there wasn't really any information. I believe it's just, sign up for notifications. It would have been nice if the back of the box made, more use of all this extra real estate and maybe included a brief description of the Mirrorverse world or a brief bio on, Jack Sparrow and, how he pertains to that Mirrorverse. But it is what it is. The graphic image is nice. So yeah, let's take this guy out and check out Captain Jack. Alright, real quick, one thing I noticed about this is that I noticed that the tape up here on my figure was spliced. And then it was double taped in other areas. So what I'm guessing is sometimes when you get that from the manufacturer, I believe that they do that every now and then because maybe there was something omitted or they had to double check on something. So sometimes they'll, open up the package and re-examine the contents to make sure everything's in place. And then they'll reseal it again and still leave that first piece of tape on there. And I don't think this was a repackage because this line just actually came out this week. So I bought this from Amazon directly. Alright, first impressions of the action figure while it's in the tray. It's beautiful. Really well sculpted. Nice details. Some excellent paint application. And in addition to the figure, we get a character stand, which is great. It's always great, especially if you're big into displaying your action figures. You know, they have something to stand on. And the one thing I love about this line, even though they didn't have a character description on the back of the package, what they make up for is that they give you this awesome trading card. They do that with the smaller figures as well. So this is cool. I don't want to take this out because, in all honesty, I still want to keep this figure mint on card. But the previous cards I've seen, they'll list the stats of the character. They'll have a brief, you know, bio information. Really cool. Really excited that they give us a free trading card with that. Examining the figure in the tray, Captain Jack looks awesome. And let's take him out. Take a good look at him up close. And I might just leave, I'll take a look at this too. Alright, so we have Captain Jack Sparrow here. And here's this weird effect. I believe the effect is for his arm, because I remember in one of the movies, like, he's turning into, I'm not sure if he's like reverting back to like some sort of weird dead form or something, but then you just see his skeleton arm, and I think that's what this is for. Maybe and wrap it around this arm, I'm guessing. Not 100% sure. Looks weird, but oh well. Alright, as we take a look at the articulation, his head rotates. Goes up and down. I believe it's on a ball joint. This arm's a little bit harder to move just because it's kind of like that. It has like a twig. It's almost like a twig for like an arm. But it rotates, and I believe it kind of goes up. Yeah, it kind of goes outward. There's elbow articulation, no wrist articulation. This arm rotates, goes out. Elbow swivel, elbow bend. His wrist moves. There's articulation in his wrist, which is nice. I can't tell if there's an ab crunch. There might be. It's a very soft, rubbery material here. And I want to say there is, but I'm not 100% sure. He does bend a little, so there might be an ab crunch. If there's a waist swivel, yeah, there's a waist swivel. So that's what we're looking at for his articulation on his legs. Goes out like that. All right. Okay, so let's take a look at this guy and view the pros and cons. Okay, in terms of the sculpting, it's a really lovely sculpt, to be honest. Some details look a little bit softer than others. Let me get this into focus. Come on, get there, get there. Alright, I'm just trying to get this into focus right now. My camera's not agreeing with me. If I pull it back. Yeah, the hard thing with trying to get this guy in focus right now is that his flesh tones and the light coming off of it, it's like... Alright, there we go. Okay, so there's a nice micro texture along his coat. Some of the detail on his hair, it's a little bit softer sculpted. It's not as crisp as I would like. But the detail's there. I do appreciate that. I love the expression on his face. Nice detail sculpted on his harnesses and belts that we see along his torso. Now, I'm not sure if this is based off any specific version of Captain Jack, like if it's based off of any one movie, or if it's just more of a stylized version of what he looks like in the video game. One thing I do kind of wish this figure had is that I kind of wish he had more eyeliner around his eyes. Like, you know, Johnny Depp and Captain Jack, when the movies first came out, they're really heavy on the eyeliner. And this one, it's not. I mean, there's some there, but it's not as prevalent as I would have liked. On the back, kind of has this like cape. It's made of a very soft, rubbery plastic, very pliable. And again, we can see the beautiful texture along his coat. Now it seems like the paint application, they kind of skimped out a little bit. From the front, not so much. And when you look at the character from the front, there's so much paint application, looks beautiful. But then once you get to the back, it looks like they kind of like skimped out and omitted painting the trim here, which is okay. But the details are nice. The articulation on the legs it's kind of funky. This is like the largest knee I've ever seen on an action figure. So it looks really weird looking at it up front like that. With a giant gap. So I don't know. But in all honesty, this seems like a figure that if you're going to display it, you're just going to display him in a neutral stance where he's just standing. This bone arm really bothers me though. I still have to see the other variation of the Captain Jack figure because I know that this is the standard one and there's also the fractured version. The one that we were looking a second ago on the back of the box that looked like more possessed with the purple eyes. A part of me is thinking that figure might actually have 2 normal arms just to get you to double dip. Like it. I'm not very fond of this weird gimpy arm on this figure right now. And I'm trying to it's a little bit more difficult to actually put into place because it's so small. Like I want to say I think there's a butterfly joint here, but it's not cooperating with me. Yeah, this arm bothers me. I don't like this weird, funky looking arm. But it's a great figure nonetheless. The detail is beautiful, well sculpted, really well detailed. Now, I was talking earlier about, like, if you haven't seen the previous videos that I did, the ones where I cover Belle, Mickey, Goofy, and Sully, those are smaller scaled action figures. This dude, I'm guessing he probably falls within the 7-inch scale. And he does. He's taller than 7 inches. So this is much more of a 7-inch scale figure, whereas the other figures in the smaller scale wave, they're much smaller. Like here's Sully from the more affordable line. This figure runs for $12. So yeah, the first wave of the smaller scaled figures are roughly $12.99. This guy is $19.99. And as you can see here, there's a huge height difference. Like if they were to scale properly, Sully would like tower over Jack Sparrow. But this is the scale that we're getting for Sully in the smaller line. And this figure is about, you know, sub 5 inches. So, and this is heavy too. This is a heavy figure. He weighs, I want to say maybe a little bit more than this guy. So yeah, here's Captain Jack. Really nice. It's a great display piece. If I had to rate this guy numerically, I'd say an easy 7, just a very even 7. It's not like a bad 7 either. It's a decent 7. You know, if you need a Captain Jack for your shelf, you know, this isn't a realistic version. You know, this doesn't look like Johnny Depp. This is more Captain Jack, the caricature, the video game character. You know, he has the long dreads. He has that kind of look in his eyes, and he has that smile. He's a great pirate figure. It looks wonderful. The sculpting is superb. The paint application is great. The articulation, it's there. You know, not much more I can say about that. It's a decent figure. It's really nice. I'm really excited about this line. I've been impressed so far with everything I've seen. You know, this guy is great. I just kind of wish he had 2 normal arms. I'm not too keen on this skeleton arm right now. But I'm not sure if that's in the context of the game or, you know. I remember in the movies there was a scene, I think there was a scene where in one of the later movies where his arm was becoming all weird and you know, he was like turning into like Skeleton Man or something. But it's been a lifetime since I've seen the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, and I think how many they've had like 4 or 5 films, right? I can't remember. There's a lot. So yeah, this is a great figure. If you're a Disney fan, I think you're not going to want to turn yourself away from this. I think this is going to be a must-buy. If you're into the video game, I think this is going to be a must-buy, especially if you're collecting the smaller figs. You're going to probably want to buy this anyways, just because they don't make a Jack Sparrow yet in this scale. If you're a fan of this McFarlane Toys, this is a definite buy. It's very cool. It's very unique looking. It's in line with the the DC multiverse and the Spawn figures. Even though it's much more of a cartoon aesthetic, it's roughly the same scale, so it'll look nice on your McFarlane shelf. Kind of wish he'd come with a sword though. You know, it's kind of weird that for an action RPG game, he doesn't come with any weapons. Because like the smaller scaled figures, they all have something. Like Sully has his shield, Belle has like a staff, Goofy has a boomerang, Mickey comes with like a potion vial, and for Captain Jack, all we get is this kind of like effect here, which I'm guessing is for his zombie arm. So yeah, let's wrap this up. So once again, my name is Lou. Thank you so much for checking out this video. I greatly appreciate it. This is a great figure. I mean, I've been impressed with this entire series of toys. So if you see this new Disney Mirrorverse line of action figures by McFarlane, give them a chance. I think they're worth the purchase. So until the next video, go out there, buy yourself lots of toys, be safe, and take care. And I don't know. Talk to you later.